And we are live.
And we are.
Cool. And hopefully I won't kill this video podcast. What can I tell you? I don't even want to go there.
All right.
Okay. And let us begin then in 3, 2, 1.
Hello? Are you ready? Yes. Then we'll begin.
We're back. If you missed us, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And it's a palindrome episode, so you never know what's going to happen. This is Monday Morning Catholic, episode number 101.
6:30 Monday morning. I'm here hiding in my bed. A song plays on my alarm clock as I cover up my head. Somewhere in the distance, I remember.
Oh yeah, somewhere in the distance we had yesterday, and and we had last week and the week before and the week before that, but we're back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Monday Morning Catholic Podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Joanne Mercier, back from 3 weeks of craziness, and look who I've got with me today. I've got Linda Reed.
Surprise.
Fresh off of her 3 weeks of, you should see her fingers. Let me tell you, 3 weeks of playing. Good morning, Linda. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm recovering.
You're recovering, huh?
Yes, I'm recovering. That's a lot of playing in a short period of time.
Oh, yeah. It is. And when she showed me her fingers, I was like, you're kidding me. Again, when you're playing guitar and zither.
Yes. Dulcimer.
Dulcimer. So I like to call it a zither. I don't know why.
You can call it a zither, but it's a dulcimer.
But she was playing dulcimer this weekend. So, of course.
Which also requires fingers and strings. And
right.
I broke my pick in the middle of it. So
really? I didn't even know.
Did. I broke the pick and I'm going, I don't hear any noise.
Quick.
So I looked down and the point of the pick was missing. So I quick and turned it around to get on a different point. And
jeez.
Yeah, it's always a fun thing.
These are the things that happen that no one knows about.
Yes.
And we talk about them here on Monday Morning Catholic sometimes just to break down the fourth wall.
Yeah, really.
But we are certainly glad to be back, although you just see two of us today. That's because other people are dead or still doing concerts. So it's one or the other. Of course, on Epiphany weekend, we're still in the Christmas season.
Yes.
Okay. So that's right. We can still say Merry Christmas up to next week, although people do look at us strangely when we do that.
Yes.
And we have been away for 3 weeks. Unfortunately, one of them was not a happy being away. My sister-in-law passed away, which we were expecting for quite a while. And but it just so happened in the middle of everything, as usually does in the real world. There's never a convenient time for anything.
Yeah.
Then we had recorded the 100th episode that was like supersized, double-sized, and double stuffed.
Yes.
So we decided to split it in half to give to give people a well-deserved break over the season. So, but now, here we are in January of 2016.
Oh.
Yes. Happy New Year, folks. And we're back. So we hopefully will try to stay on schedule. We have quite a few things happening. People are in and out of our lives here. And we have a new regular person who'll be joining us in the person of Jason Herview. Yeah,
Nice.
We figured the kid was subbing for a few people, so I just said, hey, want to just do this and stay with us? So he is, but he's not. He can't be here every week. But then again, that fits this group just fine.
Yeah.
Because half of them can't be here every week either, except
Right.
in Linda. So they'll just kind of like rotate in and out. If we ever have all 5 of us together, I'd like to have all 5 of us together at least once a month. So once every few episodes, I would like to have all 5 of us together because I think
Well, that's nice.
it would be hysterical. We'd have 4 or 5 different homilies for
Yeah.
and that would be perfect. So, and that's one of the things we do here. If this is your first time or you're just coming back to us from a hiatus, hey, welcome back or welcome. We try to look back at the previous weekend's liturgies. That's what we started doing this for, to try to make some sense of all that you see here and smell. And yes, this was a smell weekend
Yes.
because,
Thanks to me.
yes. Well, thank you. You talked them into it, I take it, huh?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, you got to use it. You got to use
We're
it.
singing about incense, for crying out loud. We need to see some.
Exactly. So if we're singing about gold, frankincense,
Yes.
then we actually should have some of it.
Yes.
So,
I finally got him to use it at the 10:30.
oh, good. Oh, so that's the one I saw.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. But we also take a look back at the Catholic Church's rituals, some church music, technology, whatever we can come up with, and of course, our wonderful section on called "The Voice of the People." There were 2 of those this week because we missed 2 weeks, and a few things sort of rose to the top while we were away. So I figured I'd catch both of them if we have time. But we have a really packed show. So grab your favorite cup of whatever. I've got tea today to keep myself awake with lots of sugar in it.
I've got nothing. I just came from a huge dinner.
Yes. Remember, we do record this on Sunday. So she's not having dinner at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Please remember that. But I don't have to ask you what you've been doing the last couple of weeks because it's been church, and more
That's
church.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
That covers all the church music stuff.
And then and we had you and your husband were kind enough to adopt the Christmas orphans.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
We were going to my son and his family were away with my son's wife's family. My daughter was going to have us for Christmas dinner, and she managed to get not only a strep throat but mono.
Yeah,
So,
that's really sad.
yes, baby.
Yeah. How is she feeling? How is she feeling now?
She's feeling better.
Good.
That mono takes a while to work it out.
Yeah, it actually
It
does.
drags you out. But it's just time, and
Yeah.
she's inherited her mother's lack of patience. So,
Really?
yeah.
Ouch. I won't say anything else on that.
So the Merciers adopted the Christmas orphans this year, and
Yes, we did.
we had a lovely dinner.
Yes, they helped us with our geriatric set. That's what dinner is at our house for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Your cousin is cute.
Oh, in-laws too. So
Yeah.
matter of everybody's cute and it's good to have rousing conversation, which is usually better than what we normally have.
I managed to fill the gap.
Thank you so much. And the cookies were great too.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
But this is, on the Feast of the Epiphany, we deal with the Befana,
Yes.
which is an Italian.
As I posted earlier on Facebook, I never knew about the Three Kings because on the Feast of the Epiphany, my grandmother, it was the coming of the Befana, never mind the kings.
Now explain to those who aren't Italian or don't live in Rhode Island what the Befana is.
La Befana is an old woman who encountered the Three Kings on their way to see the child. And they wanted her to come with them. Now, this, of course, obviously is a legend. They wanted her to come with them, but she was too busy cleaning, and she just couldn't come with them. So the kings left, and then she thought better of it. She thought, perhaps the cleaning can wait, and I will go. So she gathered up some gifts, and she tried to find the kings, but she couldn't find the kings. And so she wound up distributing her gifts along the way to good little children. And so Italian children get gifts on the Feast of the Epiphany from Befana.
So they don't get it on Christmas then.
No, they get a gift on Christmas. They get something on Christmas, but Befana is the one who brings the gifts.
So actually, they celebrate it then, not this weekend, but on the 6th of January then.
Yeah, don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Because I'm not real sure when it happens, but it is the Feast of the Epiphany. Whenever they celebrate it in Italy, whether it's on the Sunday or whether it's on the 6th of January, but that's when Befana shows up.
Yeah, well, that's
my grandmother had this song that she used to sing every year, and my grandmother didn't sing much, but she knew Befana.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So.
Well, it's these customs from around the world, and I know that the church also takes that into consideration because I believe, I don't know how universal these movable things are.
Yeah, I don't either.
Countries, so because they don't have our January 1st Holy Day of Obligation either, I don't think.
Right.
So it's kind of, things are a little sketchy, but
yeah. But whenever it is they celebrate Epiphany in Italy, that's how they do it. The kings are like, yeah, okay, the kings. But Befana is the one that brings the presents.
Jeez.
Because she never finds the Christ child.
Because she was too busy cleaning.
She was too busy cleaning, see? Yeah. And she's got all these presents that she gathered for the Christ child. So she gives them to the children.
All right, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I love those customs from other
Yeah, I do too. Like I said in my earlier Facebook post, I always think of my Nonna on Epiphany because that was her big song. She knew that song and one Marian song. And that was it.
Well, there you go. It's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need in life is to
That's right.
on a song and
Befana and the Blessed Mother.
Works perfectly fine. Okay, so we have a lot to do and a short time to do it in, and believe it or not, we actually have feedback. We have feedback, and I'm very happy for that.
Woo-hoo.
We have a lot of feedback, so I think we should go away more often.
Yeah.
We should go away more often because then we get a lot of feedback.
Get feedback.
So from your side of the world, my friends, our first piece of feedback is from somebody new to our ranks, and we thank you very much for feeling comfortable enough to send us feedback.
Yes, welcome.
This is Amy from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Amy writes to us, "Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen of MMC. First of all, thank you for the lovely show you all produce. My name is Amy, and I am a 30-something single Catholic woman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I really enjoy your show." You get points for that right away.
Yes.
Get my attention by saying that first.
Yes.
As the subject line hints at, I am behind on episodes. Now, you have to know that when the email that we got said Easter on Christmas on Easter or Easter on Christmas, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it was Easter on Christmas.
Easter on Christmas.
Right. She says, I am just finishing episode 71 on my way home from my folks' house on Christmas night in the 65-degree warmth, which feels possibly more like Easter.
Exactly.
I am so excited to have heard your explanation of common proper psalms. I was very lucky to have had some theology classes at my Catholic college and have always been an active cradle Catholic, but these terms were totally new to me. The parishes I have attended seem to always have done the proper psalm, so this explanation filled in a lot of holes about these two terms in your discussion. Thank you. This is what I expected the explanation to be, and only my laziness has held me up from looking it up on my own. Gee, Amy, I understand that.
Yes.
Google is my best friend, actually.
Yes.
And believe me, Google has been my best friend ever since it showed up instead of me having to pour through books.
Yes.
We're good. She says, please pray for me as I am blessed to extend an Italian business trip in April with 5 extra days in Rome. Any suggestions anyone has would be greatly appreciated for low-cost accommodations. I work in the theater world. Well, there, you got our attention, Amy.
Yes.
To theater people here. Locations to visit. So excited to go through the 4 holy doors and places to volunteer for a day in the area. This is not my first trip to this city or abroad, but the first time I will be on my own in a foreign country. Prayers and thanks to you all, Amy from Tulsa. What do you got for her? You're the one who's been to Italy here, so.
I know, but I don't, you know, when we were, as far as volunteering, there's, I didn't do a whole lot of volunteering except at one place. I played, and this is, I volunteered my services as a pastoral musician, was a place called the Lay Center, Lay, which is a residence for students who are studying in Rome. Don't have a place to stay. And this it's a really neat place. And we found out about it because a person that lived there was also teaching where my husband was teaching. And he's the one who asked me if I would be so kind as to play for these masses, which I did. It is, I wish I could give you an address, but I can't. But it's near the Colosseum.
So, how many other things are near the Colosseum?
About 400.
Okay. So narrowed it down a little bit.
But it's the Lay Center, Centre. And
the English version of that.
Yes, most people in Rome would know about it. It's a really nice place. They have talks. They have a retreat once a year, and we had Thanksgiving with them while we were there. So yeah, it was really nice. So that would be one place.
Okay, and she also asked, do you know any low-cost accommodations?
Well, that's the other thing. We didn't have to find our accommodations.
All right.
The organization for which my husband was teaching found us an apartment, which was on the same street as Santa Maria Maggiore.
Oh, gee. There you go.
And Santa Maria des Angelis. So we had churches at either end of the street.
Well, there you go.
And that's Rome. So
like banks around here.
Yeah. But I don't know. I really don't know for sure low-cost accommodations because we never had to look for them.
All right. What should she visit if she has only?
Oh my God, in Rome?
But if she has 5 extra days in Rome, if she's never been to the Vatican, that's the first place I would say.
Got to go to the Vatican, the Vatican Museum. Don't miss the Vatican Museum. It's so much there to take in. You could probably spend 5 days there.
Wow.
Yeah. It's corridors and corridors and corridors of art, ending with the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
And you could just die in the Sistine Chapel and be happy. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous place, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Okay. Almost any church that you walk into is a museum.
Well, she says she's going to go through the 4 holy doors. So.
Yes. And one of them is Santa Maria Maggiore. So you'll get through there. That's an amazing place. John Lateran, gorgeous place. If you go to John Lateran, don't miss the Hall of the Apostles. There's a whole corridor with these huge white marble statues of the apostles.
Wow.
And they're gorgeous.
It is the mother church of the Catholic Church.
Lateran, yes. We celebrate a feast for it.
You do?
Well, we celebrate it every year, but sometimes it falls on a Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get to know about it.
Yeah. But yeah, go to John Lateran, go to Maria Maggiore. Oh gosh, there's another museum. It's the Forum, the Roman Forum. Oh my gosh, go there. Go walk on the Appian Way. There's a million places to see.
So basically, you're
Yeah.
you know,
Get on the bus and just get off one stop.
and keep going.
Yeah. There's just so much to see there. You can fill up. We were there for 3 months, and we never had a problem finding something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we went to Assisi, we went to Florence, we went to Orvieto. But if you ever find yourself in Florence, go to the Uffizi Gallery. Go to the Accademia d'Arte, where the original Michelangelo's David is. Oh, you'll die when you see that.
Bet. Yeah, our folks from the Cranberry Catholic Collaborative went in November. They had pictures of David.
Oh, you can look at pictures. I've looked at pictures of the David since I was in college. But it's nothing like seeing it in person. First of all, when you stand next to that foot, because that's the closest you get, is the foot.
Right.
It's immense. You can't even imagine
so this,
how immense
this thing is not to scale then.
No, it's not to scale at all.
Okay. So he's about what, 20 feet tall?
Oh my God, he's huge. He's huge. His foot, it's like this big.
Okay.
So it's just amazing, and everything is so gorgeously done. I have no idea, and evidently nobody else does either, how Michelangelo finished his sculptures.
Yeah, really.
Because they're like no other. They almost breathe. It's marble, it's stone, but it almost breathes.
Well,
I'll see it.
And most people, most cynical people who read the National Enquirer would say it's aliens. So
yeah, it's aliens.
Yeah, everything's alien. If you can't explain it, it's got to be an alien.
Well, I just.
How about the human will, the spirit? The people.
Yeah. How about the human will?
This is a man who had a gift. He was able to make these gifts for us in sculptures and in painting that we will have for the rest of our.
With any luck at all, we will have it. Yeah, if they keep having earthquakes in Italy, we're going to be in trouble.
That's.
He's. I was in a church, and I can't remember the name of it right now. Oh, yes, I can. It's Santa Maria something. There's a million churches.
There's a million Santa Maria something.
Yes, there's a million churches. Santa Maria sopra Minerva. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Because it was a church to Mary, built on the Temple of Minerva.
Okay. All right.
All right. So in that church is a statue of the risen Christ by Michelangelo. Oh. And on the other side of the sanctuary is a statue of John the Baptist by somebody else.
Okay.
You can't stop looking at the Michelangelo one. Wow. And I don't know why. Because the John the Baptist is wonderful. He's beautiful. But the Michelangelo one, the finish on it, you can almost see him breathing.
Wow.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Well, there you go, Amy. She's given you a couple of good suggestions.
I'm jealous, Amy.
I am too, because one of these days I'm going to get out of my cave and go to the at this point. All right, let's move on because there's secondly, we have, of course, our friend John from Yakima congratulated us on making it through 100 numbered podcast episodes. Great. And then tried to send me a link to an old commercial clip, but it was broken. I have a feeling I know what it was. There used to be a cigarette by the name of Chesterfield 100s, and then sometime in the late 60s or early 70s, they decided to make it a millimeter longer and make it 101.
Yeah.
So he was going for the joke. So
yeah.
I give him credit. I'll give him credit twice for the joke.
Hey.
Yeah. I didn't have time to research it further to try to pull it and do something with it. So, but thank you, John. We appreciate your support over the last 100 episodes.
Yes.
You'll be with us for another 100. If we're here for another 100, who knows? Yeah. And thirdly, Bernadette from Lakeville. Now, this one has to go under the heading of, and if I can get back to this one has to go under the heading of getting to know you, because she took us up on our suggestion of getting to know you of our own community. So she decided to send us a little bit about herself. Okay. She says, hello all, love the special 100th episode, both parts. Yeah, it was going to be just one part, but it ended up two. She says first, her favorite line of both shows is from Linda. That's the voice God gave you. Give it back to him. I like that.
Yep.
I am one who can't carry a tune in a wastebasket, but I do sing every song that I have words for. The only exception is when the music is too high for me to join in. Linda, I hope you don't mind. I wrote down the quote and hope to use it often. I will give you credit each time.
That's fine.
So there you go. You better trademark it, Linda.
Whatever gets people to sing.
True. And then she says, you asked for our stories. I'll try to make this quick. Now, I knew part of this story, so it wasn't a surprise. Remember, I work with Bernadette, so it wasn't too much of a surprise, but I'm glad she's sharing it. Bernadette goes on, I was born to a single Catholic mother who was unable to care for me. She made the most loving decision a person could make and put me up for adoption. My parents, when adopting me, had only two requests. One, that I be Catholic, and the other, Italian. They wanted to maintain my heritage. I guess that makes me a cradle Catholic. I participated in CCD, love that term, not, and went to church off and on until I got engaged. After getting married, I attended church regularly. Before I knew it, I was taking my 4 children to church weekly. My husband is not a churchgoer, although he was born a Catholic, so I took them by myself. I also participated in many church activities, including a mother's group. After many years, I wasn't being fed or getting the support I needed to teach my children about God. I did ask and was told, at this time, in this place, we have nothing more to offer you. Man, guys.
Yeah.
I just say, never say that. Please, because that's one of the biggest turnoffs in life. If you tell somebody we have nothing more to offer you,
yeah,
you actually expect them to stay.
Yeah.
No.
Please.
Okay. I don't know what you can tell them other than, maybe we can explore what the needs are. Maybe we can ask folks what they'd like, always try to come up with something. Never just say, we have nothing else. That's harsh.
Yeah, it is. And it's, it's like, well, I don't care. We don't have anything else here.
Yeah, truly. She continues, I went looking for help and found it at the local Baptist church. See, that's the problem.
Yep.
Okay, that's the problem. I spent about 10 years there learning how to have a relationship with Jesus. And they'd be the ones to do it at that time, yes. When my youngest started school, I returned to college. There I met a friend who was headed to the seminary, and we had some very theological discussions. It was at this point I was informed that I broke my promise to raise my children Catholic. Smart. This started me on a journey to determine where God wanted me to live out my faith. I did return to the Catholic Church and began to make a difference. I continue to build a relationship with Jesus. I am currently the coordinator for the First Eucharist program. Yes, she is. My right hand. An extraordinary minister lector on the parish council, Generations of Faith, and I volunteer for many other projects. I'm currently learning to be a disciple, and I practice in my parish, my community, and with anyone crossing my path. I continue to learn about my faith and strengthen my relationship to Jesus. I love sharing my faith. Thanks for the podcast. I look forward to watching, listening every week. Happy New Year, Bernadette. Yeah.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, from being with Bernadette for the last almost 2 years, she believes in this process now. She's back hook, line, and sinker, and she has no bones about telling you. She's been my best explainer of Generations of Faith than me. Seriously, she'll get right in there and just, roll, and she's very upbeat about it. So, and she always tries to find another angle if someone says, well, about this, and she always comes up with another angle.
Good for her.
So, yeah, but I just feel bad that she had to run it outside, to run like a lateral around the, around the back end to get back in the front door. And I'm glad that at least in the Boston Archdiocese, we are really truly trying to make disciples. That's a big buzz phrase.
Yeah.
We're here to make disciples. But it's starting to bear some fruit because they see people who are serious about their faith, and Bernadette is one of them. So I'm glad she shared that with us, and hopefully that might, ring in a few of our listeners or viewers. And, if somebody says something to you like that, there is another way.
Yeah.
Trust me. Maybe it's just not there in that parish, but there is another way where, we're still feeling our way through, what we're doing here. It's only been how long since the Second Vatican Council? 50 some odd years. That's not a long time in the Catholic Church.
No.
That means we're still toddling.
Yes.
So please don't ever feel that the Catholic Church has nothing more to offer. We have plenty to offer.
Yeah.
It just might not be in some places. It might be stronger in some places, weaker in others. So I'm glad she didn't give up the ship totally when she was kind of told. I love the way, you broke your promise. Wow.
Yeah.
It took a lot of guts for that person to say that.
Yeah.
But you know what? The truth is the truth. Sometimes it's not convenient. Nobody wants to hear it. She could have gone the other way with it too. So she had an open heart. Let's hope we have more people with open hearts here. And if you want to share your open heart with us, you can do the same thing as Bernadette did. She sent an email to mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com. In fact, all three of them did. You can also communicate with us on our website, mondaymorningcatholic.net. There's a comment box at the end of every episode posting. We have facebook.com/Monday Morning Catholic. Or if you really want to be brave, and we really need some brave souls, you can call us on the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. In fact, I told Bernadette to call and she sent an email anyway. So much better at writing. But I can understand. But please, if again, we would like to feature your stories as well as ours. You wanted to hear about ours. Well, we want to hear about yours too.
Yeah.
So if you feel comfortable enough to share, we'd love to hear it and then pass it on. Okay. We're going to keep passing on and moving on here too.
Do you hear what I hear?
Do you hear what I hear? For the solemnity of the Epiphany of the Lord. And then it's : the most holy name of Jesus. Don't ask why that got stuck on there.
Right.
But I guess that used to be, because that used to be January 1st.
It did. It used to be January 1st. January 1st used to be a lot of things.
Yes, it was the circumcision of Jesus.
Yes.
It was the most holy name of Jesus.
The most holy name of Jesus. Then they decided to make it the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God.
Right. And World Peace Day.
And World Peace Day. So we're never sure what we're celebrating.
But it's the holy day of obligation.
But we're here.
Exactly. But this is the solemnity of the Epiphany of the Lord. And besides singing the Gloria with gusto,
yes,
and having some incense, we have our readings that we listen to. We listen to Isaiah 60, which is the Rise Up in Splendor. And of course, the only thing I had in my head was this song, Rise Up in Splendor, Rise Up in Splendor. Yeah, that's all I could hear. That's what happens. Musicians, we're just crazy.
I know. When you hear scripture, you always connect a piece of music with it, if there is one.
Right. But this was the happy part of Isaiah.
Yeah.
Other than the woeful part of Isaiah. This is the happy part of Isaiah, where Jerusalem needs to know that the light has come.
Yes.
Then we went to Psalm 72. Of course, we used the proper psalm of the day. And I think most people, if they use a common psalm for Christmas, they usually switch for 72 because it's perfect for this particular occasion. Yes.
And that's the one we used.
And that is exactly the one that was used. And we call that the Jacques Brel Psalm. Because if you recognize the very first opening measures, it sounds a little like a Jacques Brel song.
Yeah.
So I always mention that's the Jacques Brel song.
The Jacques Brel Psalm.
It's awful. Being a musician, I hear so many other things in pieces of music that probably
Pick up little snippets of things.
Yeah, when the composer had no idea that they were writing that, it was going to be used as something else later on. Or an idea that got stuck in their head. But every nation on earth will adore you. And it talks about you did very well with the kings of Tarshish.
I know. Talk about a tongue twister.
Yes, most people, and in the recording of this itself, you only hear verses 1, 2, and 4. Third verse.
They couldn't find somebody brave enough to sing the third verse.
Yes, think about the kings of Tarshish.
Tarshish and the isles offer gifts. All from Saba and Arabia bring tribute.
Yep. So yeah, and it's all really quick.
Yes, it's all like eighth notes.
Blah, 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 blah.
And a few sixteenths in there.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. I've sung it, so I know. But it's again, it really connects. It's one of those psalms that actually connects with your whole entire first reading gospel. And then of course you get your Ephesians 3, which basically, because of this birth and because of who Jesus the Christ is, the Gentiles are now co-heirs with the Jews. And that was very important to make the point.
Yeah.
You know, in early Christian times, I think most of the Jews thought that Jesus was just for them.
Yep.
You know, and if I had a clip of Jesus is just all right with me, I would have used it. But he didn't just come for the Jews. He came for everybody, which again is also, if you want to make it really stretch, this is where you get the kings showing up from someplace else. They weren't Jewish. They weren't Jewish at all.
That's right.
So Ephesians 3 brings that home. And then of course you have the Matthew 2 story of the Magi, which is there are only two gospels that talk about Jesus's birth.
Yeah.
That Matthew is one and Luke is the other. And they each have a different part, which is interesting. John doesn't.
Well, I think it just has to do with who they were writing for.
Exactly. You know? Mark didn't think it was important.
No.
He started at the ministry. John gets all ethereal.
Yes.
With, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word is God. And that while we know that that's the fourth gospel for Christmas Day, nobody wants to be at that mass and hear that. They want to hear about angels, shepherds
and babies in the hay.
Yeah. Yes. Well, they want to hear about. They don't want to hear the Word was God. The Word is God.
No.
Not what they're into, folks.
Nope.
So you only get these two stories. The Magi, I believe, only shows up in Matthew.
Only Matthew.
Correct.
Yep.
And folks, please realize that the Magi showed up a couple of years after.
Yeah. The Magi wasn't at the stable, despite what we all do with our nativity scenes.
Right.
The Magi didn't come to the stable. It says the Magi came to the house.
Right.
So they were back in Nazareth by that time.
Mm-hmm.
In the house.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
they didn't have jet planes in those days. It took a while to come by camel.
Yes, they got on the camel, the dromedary, and just, took off. But so that's where, and of course, that's a lot of reason why people wonder why the Feast of the Holy Innocents shows up in Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, this is the reason why. Okay, because the next pieces of that is Herod gets so mad that he says, well, I'm just going to kill every toddler.
Yeah.
Male toddler, 2 and under. You're done. And that's why the Holy Family ends up fleeing to Egypt.
Yeah.
So you got to get, it's got the continuity factor. It's like watching a good story. You got to know where, how it all fits in. So we have 2 homilies today, one that was live and one that was
Yes.
published. So I'll let the live one go first. 'Cause
Okay.
that's the one I also heard this weekend.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
This is our pastor refers to this one as his Star Wars homily.
Oh, and
Uh,
I've got to get that Star Wars theme. Oh, wait a minute, I do. Do I or don't I? Can't remember. I may have gotten it. No, I got the Jaws theme instead.
oh, the Jaws. Okay.
It figures.
This wasn't Jaws. This was
No, this wasn't Jaws.
So he starts off by saying he has a day off and it's on Wednesday. And he said, on my day off, I ventured out to Providence Place Mall to watch The Force Awakens. And I must say, I did enjoy it. I love the symbolism that was being used. And he gives the caveat, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil the movie for those who haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there going, please don't.
Yeah.
I have not seen this movie and hope to go next week. So.
Yes. But he said the themes of light and darkness are an overriding concern and are used quite often. I was thinking about that as I was preparing the Epiphany homily, how the themes of light and darkness are used even throughout the Bible, and not just for this feast. The first reading from Isaiah, in that first reading, he says, we're told that our light has come and we shall walk by the light. Not only do we walk by the light, but we have to be the light. In our gospel, the Magi are following the light of the star to find the newborn king so that they may offer their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. How many of us have been complaining that it's too dark when we wake up in the morning and it's dark by the time we get home from work? We don't like the darkness. There is a need in our lives, excuse me, there's a need in our lives for light, especially the light we call Christ. As we begin this new year, may we think of the ways that we can truly be the light of Christ to others. Can we offer kindness and encouragement to others instead of judgment and harsh criticism? Can we reflect the light of Christ by offering to assist others in need and by living out the corporal works of mercy? He also added, by looking up and living out the corporal works of mercy.
Yes, because there are people who don't know what the corporal works of
mercy are. So can we do that? Can we assist others by looking up and then living out the corporal works of mercy this year, this Jubilee year of mercy? St. Paul reminds us that we need to be stewards of God's grace, and that's no mean call. It's a great calling to take those gifts of time, talent, and treasure and to use them for the good of one another and nothing less. And that is what we are called to do. In the movie, The Force Awakens, and in all of the Star Wars movies, the phrase, the Force be with you, is used. And yet, we have something way more profound. May the Lord be with you. May the Lord's light, love, and mercy shine on in our homes and hearts. As in most movies of this type, characters are tested to see if they are people of the light or the darkness. They need to make choices for the light or the darkness, for life or for death. May we always try to live as children of the light, as stewards of God's grace and mercy, not just on this feast day, but on all days of our life.
Oh, wow. That was,
Nice.
It's interesting to hear some of when he writes it down versus when he delivers it.
Yeah.
Because there are other things that happen when he delivers it.
Yes.
As we have, you have to understand, Rhode Island's a very small state, but nobody wants to go anywhere. So he did mention, he went out and took a trip.
To the Providence Place Mall, yeah.
Which you have to understand is 5 minutes from where he is.
Yeah.
Okay, but Rhode Islanders don't like to go anywhere.
No,
They get all wigged out about driving like to Warwick or something.
20 minutes. Yeah. If you have to drive 20 minutes somewhere, oh my Lord.
Take a lunch. If you're going to Woonsocket, pack a lunch. And then he also said that he had a Star Wars homily when he was teaching kids. That he
Oh, yes.
would use part of that as call it the Star Wars homily back in the day.
Yes.
I am dying to see this movie.
Oh, you're going to love it.
I don't say anything. You've seen it.
I'm not. I'm just saying you're going to love it.
I know, but it's interesting. I like the fact that he wove into.
Yeah.
And I like
It got the kids' attention,
exactly.
Star Wars?
That's all that anybody's talking about.
Yeah.
And if you can make that connection with the Lord be with you and the Force be with you, that bears fruit down the road.
Sure it does.
And this is a good time to be able to say that Word on Fire, our friend,
Oh, yeah.
Robert Barron, has a new podcast. He has joined the podcasting realm. So we are happy to have him in our podcast group. And he recently put out a podcast that deals with the 5 qualities of good preaching.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that, he talks about being relevant, but in a different way. So if you really want to hear what the master preacher thinks,
Yeah.
of the 5 qualities of good preaching, then I would check out the Word on Fire podcast. This is not his sermons. It's totally different.
Right.
It's him just speaking on whatever topic they come up with. So him and Brandon Vogt, who's his editor of content, or his director of content for Word on Fire Ministries. The two of them are doing this podcast now, and I'm pushing it because I think folks, if you don't want to just listen to his sermons, and he's got a lot to say and a lot of other things. So
Oh, yes. Yes. And it's always worth listening to.
he has not disappointed yet. So I've been listening to him for a while. We have a homily from a friend of musicians. Is he a musician himself, or is he just a priest friend of musicians?
I think he is a musician himself.
All right.
He used to be the director of education for NPM.
That's true. Father Paul Collerton. And, but sometimes they're not musicians. Like,
Yeah.
the president was not a musician.
No.
So, but he was a big supporter of liturgical music, and that's why he did what he did, and we thank him for that. I'm just going to lift the shade here a little bit. Are people going to? Yeah, but
There you go.
there you go. We're getting to sundown here.
Yes.
This morning, the clouds are rolling in. No, seriously. So Father Paul's homily for this weekend was, this year the Roman Church celebrates the Epiphany on the 10th day of Christmas. An epiphany is a manifestation. The Epiphany is the manifestation of God as Christ the light for all nations. We sing, O star of wonders, star of night, star with royal beauty bright. I'm sure he sang this. Westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to your perfect light. On a summer's day in 1879, an amateur archaeologist named Marcelino, oh gosh, here we go. Di Satuola, is that correct, my Italian friend?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it.
Okay, fine. Went into a cave in Altamira, Spain, looking for prehistoric artifacts. He'd been there several times before and hadn't found much of interest. But this day, he brought with him his 8-year-old daughter. The two of them began to explore the cave. Marcelino was studying the ground when he heard his little girl cry out, "Look, Papa," she said, "oxen." He couldn't imagine what she was talking about until he looked in her direction and saw her pointing to the ceiling. There, Marcelino saw them, the most incredible images, pictures of animals and peoples that had been left there over 10,000 years earlier. What his little girl spotted was later hailed as one of the greatest artistic discoveries ever. In the 1920s, Picasso visited the caves and came away awed. To this day, thousands visit Altamira to see what many consider to be the very beginnings of art. Magi looked up and saw a star. As astrologers, they did their homework. A new star often meant the birth of a king. They took the risk to follow the star and did not give in to Herod's fear of competition. They offered gold, worthy of a king, frankincense, meant for worship, and myrrh, used to anoint a dead body, representing Jesus as king, priest, and crucified. They returned by another route after being warned in a dream. They were changed because of their encounter with Christ, as are we. The Israelites had been in darkness and shrouded in a cloud due to their occupation and capture, but they never lost hope. Even when they came close to doing so, Isaiah tells them, "Rise up in splendor. Your light has come. Upon you the Lord shines. Raise your eyes and look about. Look up." We spend too much time looking down. I had to put on my brakes to avoid hitting someone looking down at their iPhone. That doesn't surprise me. We had to look at our own situation and miss the light right before us. Oh, sorry. Let me say that again. We look at our own situation and miss the light right before us, the Christ who is waiting to help us. When I learned how to drive, my instructor had to tell me to avoid looking at my speedometer and the car so I could look up and onto the road that would give me direction. We can turn to the light of Christ because, as our second reading told us, we are co-heirs with the Jews, and the light will free us if we look up to find God, light and goodness in our lives. St. Francis de Sales wrote, "This is the grand truth. We must look at what God wants, and when we know it, we must try to do it cheerfully, or at least courageously. And not only that, but we must love this will of God and the obligations which come from it," which is a letter to a layperson, page 314. Bless your homes with chalk and or holy water. Write on the door frame 20 cross C cross M cross B cross 16. Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar, and Christus I can't. It's Mansionem Benedicat. Christ bless this house. As we look up at our home entrance or bedroom doors, we are reminded to see Christ in our homes and make Christ's light appear in the ways we treat one another. Pope Francis tells us, whenever we take a step toward Jesus, he is already there, waiting for us with open arms. World Youth Day 2013. Take a step, look up, see, and be the light of Christ. So look up and find the light that God offers us in our midst. See the light and be that light for others. I hope that his captures it for you.
Mm.
That's one thing we didn't talk about was the blessing that usually accompanies Epiphany in homes, where you do write the year, the first two numbers of the year, then Caspar, Melchior, their letters, Caspar, Melchior, Balthazar, and then the remaining, which is supposed to be, I guess that's how they came up with Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar.
Yeah.
Because of the Christus Mensorum Benedict. I can never say it unless I'm looking at it. Latin is not my strong suit.
Think of mansion. Mansionem.
Mansionem.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Christus Mansionem Benedicat. Yeah. I was going to say, of course, you got B16. It does not stand for.
No.
Pope Emeritus Benedict. Sorry, does not stand
No.
for that. Oh, boy. So we've had two good homilies looking at two different things.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we did present the one with the blessing, because I think I'm trying to think if the blessing appears anywhere other than the Catholic Household Book of Blessings, which I know some folks may have, some folks may not even know what that is. But if you Google Catholic home blessing, the whole prayer, I think, will show up on Google, because I'm sure the Catholic sites have had that up for a little bit. So there are two homilies. Thank you, Jesus. We got those out.
Yes.
We are going to run a little long today, not 2 hours long, but we will run a little long just to let you know. So if you want to pause now, come back to us later, that's fine.
Yeah.
If not, we're going to keep going because it's your turn.
The voice of the people cannot be denied.
And yes, we have the voice of the people, and we have two of them. Okay, so bear with us here. We're probably not going to talk a lot about them, but we have two of them that made it in the over 100 category. One of them went way off the chart, by the way, and I believe the one I really wish had made it up there was the "Hark, the Hymn Has Been Rewritten." I really wanted to talk about rewriting, Christian, the lovely Christmas carol.
Evidently, it's only musicians that are concerned about that.
Apparently. Hold on. But I'm trying to find the actual, because it was in here and it was huge. But of course I was putting up so much
Yeah.
in the last couple of weeks, probably because trying to make up for we're not here. So I'm just trying to find it because it was here. And it's called 10 Things to Remember When Receiving Communion. And that's what it was, I thought, sandwiched somewhere in between a couple of different things, and now I can't find it. Really depressing. They don't take them off, do they?
Well, it's just that no, they don't take them off. It's just that sometimes you have to hit show me more. I found 5 ways to make your priest miserable.
Oh, really? But here's the problem. Now it's skipping whole weeks.
Oh.
So for some strange reason, it's not showing me that particular one that I want to see.
Huh.
I hate you, Facebook. Curse you, Facebook. That's all right. I'll type it into it just takes longer when you have to type it into the, so while we're waiting for this. Now, what did I say it was again? 10 things to remember. Yeah, really. Here we go. All right, fine. All right.
What was the date that you posted that?
Oh, it had to have been like the 13th or the 14th.
Okay.
And it just kind of disappeared. Anyway, and I think this was done at alatea.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was our friend Deacon Greg Kandra who put it up. Churches will be crowded soon with more people heading to Mass who don't regularly attend. Oh, actually, it had to be somewhere around December 21st.
Okay.
No, but it wasn't there. So he did 10 things to remember when you're receiving communion. 5 that you don't do and 5 that you do. Okay. So the don'ts were, don't hold out your hand if you don't want to receive in the hand.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
As a Eucharistic minister, that used to confuse the ever daylights out of me, where you'd get, and those of you who can't see it, it's, the hand comes up and then the mouth open at the same time. It's like, pick one, please.
Yes.
And what would he say? The guy in the communion line nearly fell over trying to bend down and get the host with his mouth before it landed on his hand.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he said I had to stop him. So he said, "What do you want to do?" I asked. He sheepishly grinned and held out his hand. Sorry.
Oh, jeez.
If you receive in the hand, no gloves. Oh, come on, ladies. That's got to be a.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just say ladies, because I wouldn't be surprised some kid comes up with a mittens.
Yeah.
If you receive on the tongue, no biting, please. It's happened to me. Because and the mouth isn't even open a lot, and you're trying to get it in there, and they're biting your fingers. No or lozenges during Mass. Yeah, you can't compete with Jesus here. Either swallow it, vomit, do something. And then it says, remember, you are receiving communion, not taking it. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people try to do the pinch.
Snatch it, yeah.
They're into the pinch. It's like, no, this isn't how that works.
Yeah.
So we're receiving, not reaching for it. He says, a priest I know refers to these communicants as the body snatchers.
The body, yes.
Yeah, I didn't say it, folks. He did. And then there's 5 do's. While in line, reflect on what you are doing and why. Yeah, don't be sitting there wondering how many more you got to go till you get up there. And this is everybody. This is what a lot of people complain about when they say people shouldn't receive in line. We shouldn't receive on the hand. We should receive kneeling down and on the tongue. They see a lot of what goes on the way up to communion as being disrespectful. And there is some disrespect there, but I just think it's people don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Or don't know why they're doing this sometimes. Okay. Make yourself open to awe. Let's face it, this is awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. This is Jesus, folks. You know, like this is great. Why am I still on screen? Okay.
Because you're talking.
Well, no. I had clicked myself. I usually click myself on when we do the each one of us stays on who's doing the homily. I just didn't click myself off. Sorry. That's a bad thing for me. Okay, moving on. Those of you who just listen don't know what's going on anyway. Consume the body of Christ there and then. Don't grab and go. Don't. Because there are a lot of people who are, we're trained as Eucharistic ministers to be wary of that because we don't know what your intention is. Your intention may just be to go do it in your seat, but a lot of other people, that might not be their intention. So please don't do that. We just want to make sure that this is all on the up and up. Allow yourself to be changed. That's
a little tougher.
Allow yourself to be changed. This just isn't a ritual for ritual's sake. This is supposed to change you. And then never forget, people died so we could do this. Others around the world are dying for doing it. Still more yearn to be able to do it, and for a number of reasons, can't. This can't be overstated. What we receive is a miracle and a gift. We should never take it casually, ever.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with him.
Yep.
This is, and in all honesty, this has what's kept me Catholic. Believe me, there have been times I've thought that the grass might be greener on the other side of the pew. But they don't have this.
Yeah.
And this is Jesus.
And we have it.
And we got it. So I hold on to it, both hands, both feet, and an arm. So those are the 10 things. If you want to pass it along, it is on our Facebook page. If I have to go resurrect it and jump it up again, it gets something like 500 shares. So, everybody was paying attention to it. And then the other one everybody seemed to pay attention to, I guess they like numbers things, maybe because it's the beginning of the year, maybe the end of the year, beginning of the year. This one was the 5 ways to make your priest miserable.
Yeah.
This is the other side of the coin. Now, please remember, some of this is tongue in cheek. All right. And the guy who wrote this was not brought up Catholic, but saw some of this with his own dad, who happened to be an evangelical pastor. Okay. And I'm going to raise this one more time.
The light is dying.
There we go. Okay. All right. So below are 5 actions you can take during this holiday season to make your priest miserable. I thought this was great.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even Eye of the Tiber.
Yeah.
This was something else. 1, complain.
Complain.
Did Father leave the lights on? Was his homily too long or too short? Let him know frequently. Music not up to par, a door unlocked, the Knights of Columbus breakfast not announced, a call not returned. Send a mountain of emails. Even better, make them anonymous.
Yeah.
Remember, the priest is at your parish to be your personal servant and meet all your needs.
Yes.
Now, I know guys out there listening to this going, yep.
Yep, right.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the mug. 2, gossip. If the priest isn't listening to your wants, let others know about his failures. The less significant, the better. Was he late to confession, not interested in your ministry idea? Let others know through prayer requests. That's called passive-aggressive praying, folks. You're in the parish against him. You'll be better off with no priest at all, right? Yes, because folks, that is a danger right now. And I always used to say, when it wasn't a danger, I would just say the devil, sometimes not better than So 3, hoard your time, talent, and treasure.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't give 10% of your income to the church. Heck, Catholics, do they really? Don't even give 3%. Now that's a little bit better, but throw in $1 every couple weeks. This way, the parish will have a small budget and you'll be able to complain about the ministries you can't do. Don't volunteer either. Just be a critic. It's what Pope Francis would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Wrong.
Exactly wrong. Wrong. 4, forget he is a person.
Mm.
Father does not have a family, does not get stressed, does not have doubts, does not have hobbies. He's a Catholic machine.
Yeah.
Keep that perspective in your dialogue with him. Wow. I'm listening in my head. And
Yes.
when I read that, I could hear my friends who are priests,
Yeah.
saying a lot of different things, which I will never share on this podcast ever, because it just wouldn't be fair. And last one, 5, neglect praying for him.
Yeah.
Spend your time doing numbers 1 and 4, and you'll certainly have no time or desire to pray for him.
Yeah.
That's it. 5 simple steps. If you diligently follow the instructions detailed above, you will not only succeed in making your priest miserable, but also discourage other discerning boys and young men from ever taking his place.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was tongue in cheek, folks, but it's meant to be like a clarion.
Yeah.
And it got shared a lot, because I think a lot of times, especially around the holidays or the high holy days, we forget that our priests are under a lot of stress and they are human too.
Yep.
And we just tend to think that they're Catholic machines and they just keep going. And, folks, they're just like us. They may serve in persona Christi, but even Jesus got tired.
Yep.
Okay. So Jesus got tired. Jesus got hungry. Jesus got frazzled.
It's the human condition.
It is. And he took it upon himself
Yeah.
so that he could show us that if he, we can do it too, that we can overcome all of that. And we can, he did it to save us. So folks, don't make your priest miserable.
No. Please try and uphold him.
And one of the things Bishop Barron says in that 5 qualities of preaching is, just don't tell your priest, gee, Father, the homily was good today. He said, that's like saying, hi, how are you? He said some guys have, and if this is true, I'd love to, I don't know many who around here who'd have it, but some guys even have groups like on a Monday morning that says, how was my homily? Or sometimes groups before it that they try it out on. If you have a concern or critic, say why you thought the homily was good. Father, I enjoyed your homily because you made it a Star Wars reference, because you talked about something in your personal life, because I learned something about scripture, a piece of scripture today I never knew. They want to know that so that they can build from it.
Yeah. It was like, what is it you liked?
What is it you liked?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the voice of the people. They had lists on their minds the last couple of weeks.
And good for the people.
And that's good. We want more of that. Thank you very much. We have 2 other things, but you know what? I think I'm going to save them.
Yeah. Save them.
I think I'm going to save them for next week. Seriously.
Once again, we have no trouble filling up a podcast,
We
even though it's just the 2 of us.
We certainly do. But before we tell you one more time, we'll tell you one more time how you can, send us things. The voice of the people is a little bit different than sending us your feedback. Voice of the people is you go on the Facebook page, you like the Facebook page, and then when you see something that we post that you want us to discuss, you need to share it. So share it, like it, move it along, and more people will do that. And that's how we know it's something that people want to talk about.
Right.
But if you want to send us feedback or want to help us get to know our community better, then please, mondaymorningcatholic@gmail.com, facebook.com/Monday Morning Catholic on the side. I monitor those a lot. mondaymorningcatholic.net comment box, or you can call the voice feedback line, 774-955-0659. Before we go today, we want to wish a very happy 300th episode.
Wow.
The Catholic Weekend. Yes, very much so. 300 episodes, folks. If you don't know anything about Catholic Weekend, it's a bunch of Catholics who sit around on a Saturday morning and discuss. They have a very free-flowing format. A little bit more free-flowing than we do. But they've been around for a while. They're part of the SQPN, StarQuest Production Network, folks. And hats off to your 300th episode. However, we didn't hear you say anything about our episode. So Captain Jeff, you're a little behind. You must be behind in listening.
Yeah.
Realize we've reached 100. Not that I want the others to.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. I'm hurt. No, I'm not. Not hurt at all. Just kidding. Just playing around. Just playing around. All right, Linda. Hopefully
Yes.
next week we'll have a
You
whole
might
bunch
have some help.
people here. We hope. But if we don't and it's just us, you know what? That's okay too.
That's all right.
Because we do okay. And in this week, I'm not even going to say pray that you can keep your New Year's resolutions.
Oh,
If you've made a New Year's resolution, then you need to pray for the strength to see it through. That's the best thing. Don't try to say, oh God, just pick one. Don't do 12.
yeah.
And pray that God will give you the strength to keep it, especially in this year of mercy. If it has something to do with mercy, that'd be great too.
Right.
So for Linda Reed, Joanne, and myself, Joanne Mercier, it's just the two of us today. Thank you so much for watching, listening. We'll be back with you next week. Pray for us. We'll pray for you. And until then, ciao for now.